All right, so in this video, I'm going to be going over all of the most important updates from Shopify in winter 2023. This just barely launched a day or two ago as of February 10th. So I want to cover what I think are the most important updates from Shopify moving forward. So there's a lot here, so I definitely encourage you to come in and read the blog at shopify.com/editions/winter 2023 and read through some of these yourself. But I'm going to be going over what I think are the most valuable updates that they've implemented since last time. So they've got a lot of statistics in here about boosting conversions, and it's very, very clear that they've been focusing on the core pieces of improving your conversion rates on a Shopify store. So the first thing that they highlight is their ability to speed up your website, and they specifically reference a 50% time to first byte reduction, which I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what they're talking about here, but a 50% improvement in site speed is always going to help in terms of your conversion rates. So that's going to be huge, right? And so the next thing that they mention that I found was really, really helpful was just some of these customizations. Now, specifically this one, the one-page checkout, I'm not seeing on my Shopify end. They do mention on their blog that it'll take maybe a few months for people to see it. Some people will see it right away. So it's all just kind of up to when you're going to see this here. But basically what we're looking at is a better converting, better checkout experience that can be customized with a deeper layer of editability, which is absolutely awesome. Some of the things that I have seen, though, on the latest version of Dawn is they're actually finally letting us go into editing parts of the theme without having to go straight into the theme editor every single time. So if you've been on Shopify for a while, you're probably pretty familiar with this overview setting here, and you'll know that there's not really a good way to, for example, change this specific section and the words that are placed on it, right? It's not super customizable. There's nowhere here to change the text of this image or the color of this text here. But what I can do now is I can actually manually create CSS within each individual section to customize that layer, right? So previously you had to find this section, you had to create a new version of that section, and then you had to apply it just to this template of your Shopify theme, which was a huge workaround, took a lot of time, especially if you were just trying to do a simple thing like edit text. So now I can do something really easy, like specify I want to update the header and I want to change the color to green, right? And boom, all of a sudden I have a green image banner. It's like super, super nice. There are a lot of other things that are coming as part of a customization. So one of them is the focal point. This is absolutely awesome. You can kind of tell Shopify what the main part of the image should be, so that despite this particular image banner loading a certain way, you can say, hey, I want this particular section to be the focus of this image banner, right? And so now you'll notice it like realigned that like Bitcoin image so that it's a little bit better visible, right? So lots of cool customizations that honestly, for the life of me, I cannot figure out why Shopify did not have these in the first place, but it's good to see that we're making some solid progress on the customization front so that if you are willing to get a little bit dirty with a little bit of CSS, you can actually make some really, really cool customizations per section. One limitation I've already found out, and they mentioned this in their blog, is that there is no support for keyframes or specifically at rule sets. So if I were to add at keyframe in here, I'll get an error. Correct the errors to save your customized CSS, right? So unfortunately, we can't quite do that with animations yet, but it looks like that's something that's going to be coming in future updates. So that's probably the biggest thing that, from my perspective, individual merchants are going to be through the moon excited about. Finally, we can make those adjustments without having to create and manage so many different sections of code. Finally, it's just right there and we're able to adjust it, right? So the second biggest thing that I think a lot of merchants are going to be really, really excited about is the shop promise. Now, everyone knows in e-commerce that the consumer base really wants things to be delivered quickly. Amazon has set an expectation that if a delivery is not going to arrive in 2 days, then the customer starts to get anxious, right? And maybe they cancel, maybe they request a refund because it's not going to get there within a certain period of time, or maybe they just don't convert at all, right? So this is where Shopify is adding the promise badge with guaranteed delivery dates to help improve your conversion rate by about 25%. And this is a really, really solid offering. And basically what they're getting at here is that with their Shopify network eligible merchants. So that means that you do have to qualify for this. It's not something that they give to every single merchant, but a lot of merchants who have been working with Shopify for a long time should be able to qualify and get this eligibility. Will be able to qualify for their shop promise, which means that they're going to be able to display more targeted delivery dates, give better details about fast and free shipping, and there's no subscription fee or extra fee that you're going to have to pay on top of your existing Shopify plan. It's something that you can deliver to your customers without anything extra on top of it. So really cool stuff. You can see that they're really going after Amazon here and trying to make it easier for you, the merchant, to be able to deliver solid information and solid shipping, solid services to your customers. The next thing that was really interesting to me was, so sign in with Shop has been here for a while. It looks like they've added some additional customizations and color settings for each of these items, better face rendering and focal points if you want to connect it to the Apple sign in with your face mechanism, right? But what I actually found was Shopify is trying to get a little bit more competitive in the space with ChatGPT and all these AI copywriters that are just all over the internet right now. They're actually including a section dedicating to writing content for your products using AI, right? And this can be a big help for people who are getting their Shopify store up and ready to go, but they're having some trouble with that. You know, how do I update and write a really solid copy section, right? Because copy does impact a lot of conversion rates. We've seen how different changes in copy can improve your conversion rate by 15% just by updating and using the right keywords, right? It can improve your discoverability. So the fact that Shopify is including this as a native feature to automatically generate content for your product pages is actually pretty sweet, right? From there are a couple additional things that I wanted to make sure to point out with the new update. Of course, meta objects are going to be used much more frequently. This enhances your ability to kind of automate and show different products at different pages, improve the search function, and we'll talk about this, but there's some additional edits for B2B customers. There's just a lot of really fun stuff about how you categorize, organize, manage, ship, and even target and market to each of your customers. But I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. Instead, I wanted to talk primarily about this, selling across different channels. So this has been a big request for a very, very long time, is how do we sell to people on YouTube? And this has been, unfortunately, kind of a sore spot for Shopify clients in the past, where you didn't have the ability to connect to a YouTube store, to a YouTube platform, and be able to sell your products directly through Shopify. Well, that has changed. They've incorporated it. It's a lot simpler and honestly just a lot better that they're including this natively as opposed to having to use third-party options or even having to just kind of manage a YouTube store on your own. Super, super awesome that they're going ahead and doing that. So let's go ahead and hop into some of the better B2B customizations that they're including as well. So one thing, and they have a blog post that I'll make sure to include in the video description here, but essentially they're looking at B2B direct selling as a really, really important feature. So last update, they pushed a lot of really big focus on the B2B experience, right? How do I create a dedicated storefront for my customers that are buying in bulk, right? How do I improve that experience? Well, and like Shopify's mentioning here, this is actually a DTC experience, but we're just working with B2B partners, right? The people coming to our website, sure, they are representing a business, but that person needs to have a good experience when they land on our website in order to turn into a successful B2B relationship. So they're doing a lot of things here to try and help improve that experience. One of the things that they did recently was they made it possible to create your own B2B storefront and B2C storefront and connect those if you're on Shopify Plus. It looks like there isn't quite a way to do that if you're just on a regular Shopify subscription. So a lot more to come here. And the last thing I wanted to make sure that we addressed from the recent updates are all of the cool apps that Shopify has been announcing. So this isn't a brand new one. Shopify Collabs has been around for a while, but for the most part, Shopify Collabs was a invite-only program. So now it's available for everybody, and they kind of got mixed reviews so far, but basically this is an affiliate program that is native to Shopify that helps you kind of manage all your different affiliate revenue options, affiliates, creates basically an affiliate dashboard. So as I said, kind of mixed reviews. Some people don't like that it's not super well branded and it's more for the affiliate side. Some people are a little bit more interested in, okay, we've got a lot of affiliates. How do we manage all these different affiliate accounts in one central place? Super solid app for that. So definitely worth looking into if you're doing anything with affiliate marketing. Now, one thing I found, oh, thank goodness, this is finally here. It's ridiculous that this wasn't here beforehand, but this is finally a free dedicated form builder app that you can install on your Shopify store, and it's a completely awesome app, right? I don't have to sign up for a constant contact. I don't have to sign up for anything crazy, right? I can just create a form. Now, that being said, with all the different AI automations, some third-party tools might be slightly better for you, depending on if you're familiar with Constant Contact or using MailChimp. Any of those might be worth reviewing. But the fact that we finally just have an option to create a form and basically write a form people can actually use and include some basics like first, last name, email, sign up, good to go, right? And even adjust the colors, right? There's just some really, really solid options here, showing it on specific devices, automations, right? To welcome new subscribers. Just a solid overall offering here. And then lastly, the last item that I wanted to make sure we touched on was those Shopify automations. So there's a lot of built-in automations that I'm sure you've already seen if you've been on a Shopify store or you're a Shopify merchant. The classic one is the, hey, you abandoned checkout, but we are able to retarget you, so we're going to send you an email saying, hey, you left this in your cart, here's a 10% discount, right? There's now a little bit more of a customized experience behind that. Same thing with abandoned cart and abandoned product browsing. Then there's also a few dedicated ways that you can go about setting automations, which is pretty cool. So overall, just a lot of really, really fun stuff from the Shopify team. I highly encourage you guys to go and check this out. I'll be including some links to a lot of the items that I talked about, a lot of the different pages. And let me know if you guys are excited about the latest Shopify updates.